Welcome back to another video on Influential Sports. And this is some unfortunate news for the WNBA, especially for the New York Liberty and their team and their fan base. But Breanna Stewart, she exited their game against the Sparks on Saturday night with a hamstring injury. Wasn't revealed at the time what the injury was. We just knew it was a lower leg injury, and it was revealed that it was a hamstring after because she only played 3 minutes in that game, in a game that the Sparks had a 15-point lead in. Only ended up winning on a Rakia Jackson game winner, where Rakia Jackson went off at 24 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 9 of 15 from the field. Kelsey Plum had a really good game, almost sold it with the dumb 3-point attempt she took when they were up 2, when she could have just went for a layup. I didn't understand taking that 3. You were already up 2, so if you get the layup, you go up by 4. So I didn't get that decision. But the Sparks had the Liberty on the ropes the entire game, and once Breanna Stewart left, it really made Natasha Cloud. She stepped up and helped Sabrina lead the charge and a potential comeback. Well, they did come back, but they weren't able to win. They did tie it 99-99, but like I said, Rakia Jackson hit the game winner, and Breanna Stewart was heavily missed in that game because likely down the stretch of that game, she could have. And obviously, we can't predict what's going to happen because it's hypothetical. But if she's in that game, she's likely to get a block or at least a stop in that final possession against Rakia Jackson. And she probably doesn't get that layup, which was super lucky. But a game winner is a game winner. And with the Liberty being 17-7 now, they still hold the second best record in the league. Now, they had a hot start to the season, starting 8-0, 9-0, something like that. Them and the Lynx have been the top 2 teams all year. Now, the Lynx have pulled away with their 22 wins, the only team above 20 wins at this point in the season. They did lose today, tonight as I'm filming this, against the Atlanta Dream. It was a tight game. But with that being said, Breanna Stewart is out with a hamstring injury. And hamstring injuries are tricky because you never know how long somebody can be out. We've seen Chris Paul deal with it a few years ago when he was with the Rockets. We've seen LeBron deal with it. Well, now, LeBron had a groin injury. That wasn't a hamstring. But we've seen Tom Halliburton, he dealt with a hamstring. So we've seen players deal with hamstrings throughout the NBA in the past. So it's tough to navigate how long she's going to be out. I don't think it's a timetable yet. But with a hamstring injury, it's really hard to determine the timetable because it could be not expected to be out for too long, and then it turns into multiple weeks, maybe even months. So it's really not sure when it comes down to that. But what Breanna Stewart was given Liberty this season, she's played in all 24 games. Obviously, her stats went down a bit because she only played 3 minutes in that last game that they lost to the Sparks, who are on a 5-game winning streak. The Sparks are hot right now, so shout out to them playing well, and they're supposed to be getting Cameron Brink back soon. But back to Breanna Stewart, another All-Star year, made the All-Star team, and played in every game. At this point in the season, played in all 24 games. Obviously going to miss the next few, however long they may be. She's averaging 18.3 points, 6.5 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 1.4 steals, 1.4 blocks, only averaging 1.9 personal fouls per game, which is the lowest of her career. Only 2.1 turnovers per game, shooting 46.9% from the field, shooting 20.6% from 3 on about 3 attempts per game, and shooting 82.8% from the free throw line. Like I said, the Liberty are 17-7, second in the league, and just lost to the Sparks. And they're 6-4 in their last 10. But what Breanna Stewart is doing, obviously this isn't her. She's had MVP years before. Obviously she isn't playing up to that, but she's still giving them good minutes. She's still playing really well, still giving you good defense and getting them almost a block and a half per game, limiting her personal fouls, probably the most disciplined she's been on defense. This isn't her best defensive season, but she's definitely been a lot more disciplined compared to other seasons, not even averaging about, rounded up to 2 fouls per game, so that's really good, not really fouling out much. So Breanna Stewart, she's still been good this season, putting up 18 points, 6.5 rebounds. It's down from what she usually averages, but it's still a decent amount. She's still doing a decent job rebounding for this team. And the assists, like I said, 3.9. That's good, especially for her playing her position at the power forward center role, putting up 3.9 with nearly 4 assists per game and shooting 47% from the field. 82 from the free throw line. She's been having a great season and was once again an all-star like she should have been. But even in these next 6 games, and since I'm using the next six because that's gonna be when they hit 30. They have the Wings. They had the Wings 3 times, the Sun twice, and the Lynx once. So their next 6 games are very favorable. And because of their high start to the season, really, however this plays out, they're unlikely to fall below 3. Like I still think even within, and I'm just using the next 6 because, like I said, that's when they hit 30. Now, and I don't know how long she's gonna be out, but this could really hurt this team because if they go 500 within this stretch or worse, then it's not gonna look too good. Because I think the one they play the Wings tonight. Once y'all be seeing this, they play on Monday night, and my Wings will have Paige back. She rested this game that we had on Sunday, so she'll be back. I think we can win that game. I think that's a very winnable game, especially without them having Breanna Stewart. I would assume Natasha Cloud, I know she's gonna do her thing. Sabrina Nescu, she's gonna do her thing. But it's like after them two, who's gonna be the next one to step up? But I think we can win that game, especially with it being in Dallas. Then on Wednesday they go to play the first seeded Lynx. I don't see the Lynx losing that game. They only have 5 losses on the season, and they just lost to Atlanta. So I know they're definitely not trying to lose again. Obviously anything could happen, but I don't see them losing that game against a weakened Liberty team. Then they got the Sun back to back on Friday and next Sunday. Both of these games are in Connecticut, and I could see Connecticut pulling off one win because out of their 4 wins this season, 3 of those wins came at home. So, and then with them being weakened, like I said, I could see them getting the one win. I could be wrong about that, and the Liberty could win both games. Sabrina could definitely carry them to 2 wins against easily the worst team in the league. So we'll see what happens, but I think they go 1-1 in those 2 games. Then they play the Wings 2 more times, and I think they go 1-1. I think they win the game in New York and lose the one in Dallas. Could be wrong about that, but even with this weekend stretch, I think not having Breanna Stewart, not having that paint presence that you're used to when you're starting lineup, they're gonna have to adjust to that because Steph's had her all season, so they haven't been put in a position to play without her until that game against the Sparks. And then we saw Rickea Jackson was able to get probably the easiest layup of her career. Even though it looked sloppy, it was still easy for her to get that layup. She got good post position. She got the ball. She put the ball up and game winner. And so I think without having Breanna Stewart, it's a new look for the Liberty. Like I said, because she's played every game. She hasn't missed a game. Even though the stats might be down, the play is still there. And her playing every game, Sabrina Nescu taking another leap. I feel like Sabrina's been their best player this season. And it's not a slight to Breanna Stewart because it's always kind of been a 1A, 1B thing, in my opinion, with this New York Liberty team. So Breanna Stewart, she's bringing it offensively and defensively, also getting a steal. A 1.4 steals per game. The only weakness in Breanna Stewart's game is her three-point percentage, which is 21% on 3 attempts per game. And I mean, and 3 not even a crazy amount. She's taking more than usual, but 3 is still a solid amount, especially for her position. So obviously you would like to see that 21% improve. But she's done what she's good. She's helped lead this team along with Sabrina to 17 wins this season. But seeing that and seeing how that game against the Sparks played out, if Breanna Stewart is still there, I don't think that game gets as bad as it does. I don't think they're down 15. I don't even think they lose this game. I think they snapped the Sparks 4-game winning streak and stopped it from going to 5. But they were able to do that. They were able to get to the line, and the Sparks was able to get the win. So I can't take it away from them. Injuries happen. That's just a part of the game. But I think with that, I think teams should be, these weaker teams might be able to take advantage of them not having Breanna Stewart, who's their first option on some nights, second options on other nights. So it's like now you're relying on Sabrina Nescu to carry this team. Now, like I said, Natasha Cloud, I expect to step up. Leon Phoebus just came back to the starting lineup, so we'll see. And we know they're really good when she's in the starting lineup. So we'll see how this plays out without Breanna Stewart for however long she's out. But I predict they go 2-4 in their next 4 games. I mean, in their next 6 games. They could even go 3-3, or they could prove me wrong and go 4-2, or maybe even 5-1. Maybe they only lose to the Lynx. regardless, I don't see them catching the Lynx. I don't see anybody catching the Lynx. I think they got the first seed wrapped up, in my opinion, already being 5 games ahead of New York. But I also think that even if they go 2-4, they'll still be 19-11 and still possess the second seed. I don't see them falling anywhere lower than 3 within these next 6 games. But obviously a hamstring injury, and especially the WNBA schedule, she's gonna be out longer than 6 games, more than likely. I don't know how long she's gonna be out. It's no confirmed timetable on that. But prayers up to Breanna Stewart. First off, I don't know if I said that at the beginning, but hamstring injury, any injury to an athlete, is obviously tough to see and watch. After watching of a fan of the sport, and so that's tough to see. Prayers up to her. But I think the Liberty, I think it's really going. Sabrina Ionescu's going to do her thing, but it's the others around her, Natasha Cloud, Leon Fevich, everybody else. Are they going to be able to step up in the absence of Breanna Stewart? We seen Natasha Cloud do it against the Sparks, so we'll see if that continues. But these next 6 games, they're playing some really weak teams. They've got this, like I said, they got the Wings 3 times, got the Sun twice, and you got the Lynx. So the Lynx is the only good team you're playing within your next 6 games. So these are probably the most important. You want to go 5-1 in this stretch, because if you go 2-4, 3-3, then the other teams like the Dream and the Mercury, they have a chance to catch you and get that second seed, and you might not have home court going into the playoffs. And you want to hold on to that second spot as much as you can, because this season has been very unpredictable, and I do think the Lynx are the championship favorites at the moment, but anything could happen. But it's going to be interesting to see how the Liberty play without their all-star, without their superstar player in Breanna Stewart, who's having, I wouldn't necessarily say a down year because of her stats, because when you're watching her, she's still doing her thing. It's just the rebounds, the rebounds might be down by a little bit, but I still feel like she's adding the same value as she did in previous seasons, just not having as good of a season compared to other ones, and mainly just because other women are just stepped up around the W. But the Liberty, like I said, these next 6 games are very important. How they play in these next 6 games will determine really what their ceiling is and what their floor is without Breanna Stewart in the lineup. Because the Lynx are your only competition. My Wings, we suck. We shouldn't win 2 games against y'all out of 3. The Liberty should take 2 of those games. They should beat the Sun twice. I expect them to lose to the Lynx, but if they pull that off, that'd be impressive. But these next 6 games these are very important games. Despite the weak competition, this is gonna let the WNBA world know how much Breanna Stewart means to this team, and she means a lot. Like, I don't think anybody's gonna be able to replace the value she adds to this team when it comes to defense, her two-way ability in general, because she's giving you so much offensively by being an improved playmaker this year, by getting you steals and blocks on a consistent basis, by shooting 82% from the free throw line, shooting 47% from the field, putting up 18 points per night, still getting you close to 7 rebounds a game. So we'll see what happens. But once again, prayers up to Breanna Stewart, and best of luck to the New York Liberty for this season. Don't know how long Breanna Stewart will be out and how long she will be injured, but we'll see within the coming weeks. If I get an update, I'll provide that to see if there's any timetable. But with that being said, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, comment if you're new as well, comment how far you think the Liberty can go without Breanna Stewart. I think hopefully she isn't out for the season, because we just seen Kayla Thornton go out for the season for the Golden State Valkyries. But this team can't compete with a championship without Breanna Stewart. They need her to compete for a title, or they're probably out in the second round, and that's my opinion. And make sure y'all share the video for others to see.